I fuse a lot of things into my work. I use acrylic and charcoal, the wooden surface, to create these kind of like interesting layers. The charcoal takes over, and then the acrylic comes back in, and it's just that back and forth push and pull, between both mediums. My name is Lamar. I'm originally from Nigeria, but based in New York City. I moved into my friend's apartment. I was crashing on the couch for a little bit. One of the major difficulties that I faced as an artist was getting a space to work from, because I knew that it wasn't convenient for me to continue to work out from my living room, and then at some point I was working out from my bedroom, so it wasn't really convenient.
Arts Gowanus started 30 years ago as a small group of artists who wanted to open their studios to the public once a year. Since Gowanus has been an industrial neighborhood and all the industry left, the artists kind of came in and took up spots in all that industrial space and opened studios. And so it really became an arts and culture neighborhood. I came on in 2019 as the executive director, right as Gowanus was getting rezoned, when the neighborhood was going through another huge transformation. So Arts Gowanus in the last 7 years has turned much more into advocacy of affordability and keeping Gowanus a creative neighborhood that it always has been.
The rezoning of Gowanus, the discussion had taken place for over a decade before it actually happened. The Gowanus Neighborhood Coalition for Justice, it was this group of non-for-profits that were interested in trying to assure that the people's voice would be heard. We had very good connections with Councilmember Brad Lander. Brad said the best way to go about this was to create what's called a community benefits agreement.
Everybody said, we gotta keep Gowanus creative. That's what makes it special. We want artists to be able to be here. So then we teamed up and went to the developers and said, look, there's still like a lot of hesitance about this rezoning. Sure, there's affordable housing and we're committing to open space, but unless there can be affordable art space, how are we really gonna get the whole community on board? And thankfully, enough of them said, let's negotiate.
After I got elected in 2021, I came into office now having oversight of the Gowanus rezoning. Those community benefits are so critical to the heart of Gowanus remaining an arts community. And as a result of that advocacy, we have artist studios that are deeply affordable.
We're allocating these new subsidized studio spaces via a weighted lottery system. Anyone in New York is eligible to apply for one of these spaces, but you are more highly prioritized if you are an artist who's been displaced previously from the neighborhood by natural disaster, by raised rents, by your building getting torn down, or if you're a member of a historically underrepresented community.
I didn't have a conceptual direction for my work necessarily. I liked doing portrait, I liked doing landscape, I liked kind of doing everything. It was always drawing, always sketching, drawing the figure, and I always loved the city. It always made sense to me. The grandeur of it, the size, the scale, and then I'm really interested in science and nature and how that survives in this kind of environment. I'm Chris Weller. I'm originally from Alberta. I was born in Calgary, but I've been in New York City for 27 or 8 years. Last year, when I entered the lottery for this studio, I had pretty much made up my mind that if I didn't get a studio through the lottery, I was gonna move. And it was kind of breaking my heart. I could afford to work and stay in the city, but I couldn't afford a studio anymore.
Chris Weller is an incredible artist and illustrator who's been around the neighborhood much longer than I have, for decades, working out of different studio spaces here. She's been bounced around by raising rents, by all these different things. And she got one of these new affordable studios.
It still feels too good to be true. I feel like I'm gonna get busted every time I walk into the shop and they're gonna say, you're not supposed to be here, you know? Because I've never had a studio this luxurious, you know, nothing since college. You know.
I met Johnny at a fair and I was like, oh, have you heard about this? And I was like, no. It was like, yo, you need to go apply.
Mayowa is a brilliant painter, just a wonderful person. To see him join the Gowanus arts community is so joyful. His work is incredible, and he'll be in Gowanus for as long as he wants because he has permanent affordability. And that is what the CBA was created for for people to be able to have a sustainable career and grow their career without having to worry about rents falling on their head or being displaced because the building was getting torn down.
I felt so privileged and honored to have this space. When I picked up the keys, I was just so happy. It felt like a huge burden has been taken off my chest.
Some of the studios that we negotiated in the CBA are more highly subsidized for low-income artists. So those are $1 a square foot per month. But we realized in going through this process that even that is a barrier to some people. So we decided to launch the Arts Gowanus Fellowship Program, which we are still raising money for. We currently have 3 fellows who get studio space free of charge. We cover the rent, we provide material support, career guidance, workshops, mentorship, and then at the end we've partnered with the Affordable Art Fair, so each fellow gets to showcase their work at the end of the fellowship.
One other great thing that Arts Gowanus won as part of that community benefits agreement is a community center that's going to be right here on this site.
The Community Arts Center is under construction now. In a couple of years it will open, and Arts Gowanus will have a 2,000 square foot gallery space and a little bit of office and a little bit of storage. THAD,
A coalition of other nonprofits and other stakeholders in the neighborhood really taught us that the more voices that we have in the room who are advocating for good stuff, the better this rezoning would go. Art is the place where it's a level playing field. Everyone shares ideas, everyone shares conversation from every walk of life, and that's what makes Gowanus special because it can keep growing. As long as art stays a focus, it'll stay a community.
We have to find ways in which growth can be fused with, the things that give a neighborhood soul and character, and this is a great model for doing it.
There's so many people that I've met that I'm very grateful for. Yeah, the possibilities are just enormous. I just feel like the future is bright moving on, so I just want to say thank you.
I really have a feeling of how much it's going to bring to my life. I can do what I want and make work that I want, bring people in to see my work. I'm getting choked up because it really changed my life.
That's great.
I'm getting choked up.